Good morning and welcome to the Stick with Rick. This week we're out here at the Peralta trailhead. It's legendary for a lost gold mine of the Peralta family. I want to thank this week's sponsor, the Sugar Shack, where life is too short for boring desserts. This week I can guarantee it won't be a boring episode, folks. This is where it all started for me out here in Arizona. Very first place I went hiking at. Got me started looking all the holes, the crevices, different rock formations. Got me really interested in the history out here. So I hope you guys enjoy this week's episode. Alright folks, you can see as we get started this morning, got some cloud cover keeping the heat away. But up here in the mountains you see all the crevices I was telling you about, all the places that have been washed out by the water all the time. The way the rocks fall, some pretty neat formations out here. You know, being out here, looking around, seeing the mountains, seeing how high everything is around you, kind of reminds you just how small you are in this universe. Most people don't see this from the road, but once you get back in here, you realize that you're really only a very small part of the universe that you live in. You see those cracks and crevices. This area here made one time a very fertile spot, very good spot for the natives to live in. That's why you can still see some of the trails through these mountains. You can see where the miners are back in here, the Spanish miners, blowing things off, exploring, because it's got a lot of minerals. It's got a lot of good dirt. It's got a lot of good things inside this mountain. And it's things like this out here. I'll show you a different few formations that make your imagination kind of go wild. To me, the top of that rock there kind of looks like an angry beaver, ready to just bite something passing by. That kind of boggles my mind, folks. If you look at those rocks out there, looks like that entire ridge line was cut into sections, almost perfectly straight. Wonder what's done that. You see right there, though, that's something important. Don't know how to get to it. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. Look at that waterfall and that basin down there. That's just beautiful. Can you imagine that running with water? Waking up and look at that in the morning. You know, it's pretty cool. Some of these hills here, the same hills Geronimo used to run through. He used to say he had a spot out here in the Superstition Mountains. He'd go into a cave, come out the other side in New Mexico. Now, I'm sure that's just superstition. But could you imagine somewhere out here, some kind of magical portal? Nobody'd ever know where it was at. Nobody could find it. You don't have enough time in the day to look everywhere. Could you just imagine all the history, all the stories, all the things that are hidden within the walls of these canyons? Alright, and it's rocks like that, guys, that get me out here. They just fall, land on a ledge and sit there precariously. You wonder if they're going to fall or not, but you know they've been there for hundreds of years. And here, if you open your mind and use your imagination, you can see yourself a big blue whale coming out of the water. And right there to the right, another nice little camping spot. Perfect shade from the wind and the rain. Doesn't look like it'd be that difficult to get to if you were out here. Just look at those rocks, guys. See how high that is up there? You see how small we look down here? Just remember that the next time you get mad, the next time you get angry. Just a very small part of what makes the world go round. Take a minute, take a breath, relax. Enjoy your day. Don't let the stresses of life tear you down the way the water tears these mountains down. You see, some of the things you see out here, folks, really play with your imagination. See those openings up there? They look like they'd be a great spot to host a little village. At least a couple families up on the ridge. You can see the green. See how they could have grown some stuff up there. But it's such a beautiful place down here in this valley. If you look around, all the things by you. You know, I can't stress to you guys how walking out here at the end of a week really de-stresses a person. You just kind of let your mind wander, You don't have to think about much. Just enjoy the stuff around you. You know, it's not for everybody. A lot of adults, they're too grown for imagination anymore. They don't have the time in their lives to just stop and ponder to what is. Fantasies of life, you know? But if you get out here every once in a while, just make up a story in your head. If it gets boring, think of yourself as a cowboy or an Indian, climbing through these hills looking for gold, looking for Indians, looking for soldiers, whatever it is your heart desires. You see, it's nice and beautiful out here, all this green, all the trees, rocks. It's a place where you don't have to worry about money or bills. Here's another closer look at that cave we saw earlier. It's funny, that rock they got out front, kind of like they'd push that down on anybody trying to come up the mountain. And this, folks, another spot where it pays to open up your imagination. I see a big snail up there carrying his shell. What about you guys? And it's holes like that that'll make your mind wander. Where does it go? What lives in there? What's it for? Now, this part of the hike here kind of reminds me of those Easter Island heads. Just rocks sticking up out of the ground. Kind of look like they're for a reason, some of them, but you know, they're natural. God put them here. And just look at all the beauty around us, guys. Just take a second to enjoy that. Alright folks, this is another place I found quite interesting. It's the very first cave I found here in Arizona. It goes about 50 feet back and has two shafts that go to the right. I can tell over the last few years somebody's been digging in here, because the first time I was here, you could barely crawl through it. But right now, I can do a duck walk about halfway through. Just take a look at that view, folks, from this mine. Such a beautiful place to be. Such a good time to enjoy it. Good time of year, good weather. Hope you guys are having a good day. You see that right there, the eye of that needle? That superstition says somewhere around that needle you're going to find a mine. They say for some reason all the old mines are located near these old holes. So if you're out here walking around looking, look out for these holes. See if you can find a hole nearby. Just might get lucky. Alright, what we're looking at now is Weaver's Needle. Now they say at the base of Weaver's Needle is a cave that Geronimo used to call home. I'll show you guys something. You see the tree way over there in the distance? It's very easy to get lost in these canyons. You can see some of the landmarks that you thought you saw on other trails. Just so happens I'm about a mile away from where I thought I was in a different canyon. Some great views today though. I'm thankful I took it this way. I've never been on this side. Some good slopes here to see, the different colorations. Some new holes. You can kind of make your way down there. Not quite far how it goes. Not sure I want to make that kind of hike today. This is beautiful scenery, beautiful sight. Kind of like the cupcakes and desserts that Sugar Shack bakes. Nice and tasty, delicious. Get yourself out there and enjoy some snacks, guys. Alright, now here's a nice little formation I stumbled across. Get in here and see what's going on. Try to make sure we don't slip down, fall off the mountain or nothing. This is pretty nice. Good little camping spot you get way back out here. Definitely see it around you. Couple good rocks and flat spots you could lay on. Come up here and check this out a little bit. Come around this way. It's actually a nice little group camping spot, or a good spot for wildcat families, dogs, whatever. But we're trying to get over there to that ridge line, trying to find our easiest path. Doesn't look like anything's going to be easy today. We'll take a walk around, see if we can figure it out. Now, walking in the shadow of that needle kind of reminded all the Indians used to call this place home. Used to wander through here, raise their families, raise their crops. Used to hunt together. Used to make a life out here. Seems pretty rugged, seems pretty difficult. But you know, when there's a will, there is a way. And as long as you're willing to go as long and as hard as you can, you will always make a difference in your own life. Just have to make sure you're moving in the correct directions. Listen to the universe, listen to the things around you. You know, when things start going bad in your life, it's generally not the things that went bad's fault. It's something in your life, something that you're doing that's throwing everything else in your life out of balance. It's up to us to ground ourselves, to make sure that we know exactly what we're doing in life and exactly where we're going. Otherwise, you end up like me out here wandering around a couple miles from where you want to be. And you know, in the real world, a couple miles is probably a couple $1,000. Could be a house payment, could be a car payment. Heck, it could mean losing your job. So just make sure in life, folks, we take the time to do things the right way. We do right by those that are around us. We do right by the universe. That way we always know, even if we do die on this world, because we all eventually will die, we know that we gave our best to this life. We gave our best to this world. So we didn't fail. As long as we try, we did something. As long as you put one foot in front of the other, you're always making progress. Just like out here, I'm making my way over that trail. A little more difficult, but man, look at all that beauty I get to see on the way. It could take an extra 45 minutes to an hour to get where I want to be. But golly, it's beautiful. All right, folks, here we are at the pinnacle of this hike. They call it a lone tree. A lone pine tree growing all by itself out here in the mountains. Now, folks, this is what makes this one of my favorite hikes in Arizona. See the height, you see the views, see how far you can see. It's quite amazing up here on this little rock, just how much you can see the world around you. From up here, looks a little smaller, kind of reminds you of your day life. You don't realize how big everything is beneath you, and you can see it. But you don't really grasp the presence until you're down there and you're looking at it. Well, look at that, folks. The old home of Geronimo. And all these valleys used to be filled with Native Americans. Had some soldiers back in here, had some pioneers in here. But as you can tell, a lot of people deemed it wasn't very survivable. Now, why we haven't given this land back to the natives the way it belongs is beyond me. But I do believe a place as beautiful as this deserves some kind of protection, deserves some kind of respect, because of the history it holds, the stories it can tell, the things you can find out here that you won't find anywhere else in the world, with views almost as beautiful as anything you've ever seen. Took us about 2.5 hours to get to this spot this morning. You know, it's a good place to sit down, rest your legs, take a drink of water before you head back down. Never take on too much at one time. Make sure you take your breaks. Make sure you drink your water. It can get dangerous this time of year. Temperatures in the 90s and the 100s. A lot of people come out here, not enough water, not prepared enough. And then we have to send out rescue crews to come get them. It's a waste of taxpayer money. It's a waste of time, in my opinion. So if you're going to come out here, be prepared, be responsible. Don't put your lives in the hands of other people. Make sure you can do what you set out to do. And if you can't, just take it one step at a time and only go as far as you feel comfortable. Do not continue to press until somebody has to save you. Kind of like in the world right now. Take out all this debt, you put all this stuff on your credit cards. All of a sudden, somebody's got to pay that debt. What happens when the economy tanks? What happens when you lose your job? You got all that debt piled up. A lot of times it gets written off, and companies have to pay for it. They raise your insurance, they raise premiums, they raise interest rates, and we all have to pay for it. So in life, guys, always try and do only what you can do, what you're responsible for. Don't take on too many burdens at one time. That's how a lot of us get in trouble. We get too many irons in the fire. We get too many things going at one time. Can't slow down enough to take care of each one individually. So what happens? They all become a mess. Our lives become a mess. So just take a minute to slow down and think about the things you want to accomplish in life, the kind of person you want to be, who you are, and do that. and enjoy your life. While I'm up here, I just want to thank again the Sugar Shack for sponsoring this show and always staying behind me. I want to thank you guys for voting for me and my favorite chef. You know, it's pretty cool to be the top 15 people. Right now I'm top 10. I have a lot of professional chefs doing this. I'm just a guy that cooks at home, enjoys cooking for my wife and my family. Thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you for being behind me. I hope you know that anything you guys need, I'm here for you as well. If I consider you a friend, I will die for you. But more importantly, I'll live for you. I'll give you whatever you need if I can. And that's the way we all should be. You have somebody in your life that you love, you call a friend. If they're truly a friend, you will live for them. You will do good things. You will make sure that you don't stab them in the back, you don't lie about them, you don't talk about them behind their backs. That's not what friends do, it's not what people are for. We're here to love one another, here to take care of each other, here to take care of the world. Just take your time each day to be patient and just take care of everything that needs taken care of. Now you guys, this might just be my imagination playing tricks on me. But I want to kind of walk you around something I just stumbled across out here. Look at those rocks lined up there. I'm all the way down here. In a straight line. Now as you cross over, see what looks to be another wall there. It's all the way down. It's even got a corner on it. Comes over to here. We're going to kind of walk around over here a little bit, see if we can see the geometry of everything. But to me, it does not look natural. Now it very well could be. Now you see here a line running again down that way. All these boulders look like they've been put in place. All the way down that ridge line there. Oop, can back up a little bit. All the way down that ridge line. Now, like I said, it could be my mind playing tricks on me because there's some other rocks out here that look similar. These just kind of look out of place. Now, if you come around this way, we're going to go over the corner of what I think is the corner. You got a perfect view of the needle right there, Weaver's needle. And you can see they kind of run straight down this line here. And then you have that rock formation down at the bottom. Careful not to step on too much. Keep an eye out for snakes. It's a great time of year to find them. And it's not what I'm looking for. But make our way down and around. Check out this formation here. Could be something, could be nothing. Most oftentimes it is nothing, but your imagination can wander. And now you have this here. Just shortly down from where we were at. And another great view of the needle. And here, folks, we have evidence of that Spanish mining I was telling you about. Now, back in the day, this had been a great spot for the Peraltas to hide a cache of gold, bury that hole up. Nobody would have known it was there. Now, obviously, people have been through here. They've cleaned them out over the years. But you can see where somebody definitely carved that out for a reason. Now, even though I made a wrong turn this morning, ended up in the spot I wanted to get to, different way than I wanted to get there, you can see kind of why you can make a loop out of the journey that you're on. It's a lot better. You get two different views, two different hikes, two different experiences. As you can see, down there is the backside of that turtle rock. Hopefully that didn't go in and out too bad for you. Still getting used to the zoom on this thing. And there's the ledge where we saw those caves. So that is how easy it is to get turned around down here. We saw both landmarks. Now I'm going to try and zoom in again. That is the trail we were on. This is the trail we want to be on. Now this is one of our last stops for today, folks. This is what I call the catcher's mitt. Looks like one big mitt just ready to catch a boulder. Over there to the right, that's another little altar looking thing. But you can see how, if you use your imagination out here, some of these rocks look like they could be quite a few different things. So if you get the time, folks, get out here, release your mind, relax. Just think about all the possibilities these things used to be, could have been. Make up a story, enjoy your life. And we cannot forget the saddle. It's famous out here. Make sure you know you're going the right direction. If you see that saddle, you're headed toward the lone tree. As we make our way down and out of here, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in this week. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Thank you again to the Sugar Shack, my little sister out there baking those great desserts. It's amazing, folks, some of these formations. As you can see, this is how we were on the wrong trail earlier. We're real close to that turtle, that snail, whatever you want to call it up there. Just look at how tall those peaks are, them rocks up there. As you take one step further and further down, you just feel smaller and smaller. By the time you get to the ground, you realize you're placed in this universe. You're just one cog in the wheel, one spring in the sprocket. It sure is green right now, y'all. Surprising. Didn't have too much rain, but we had enough, it looks like, to get everything growing this year. Alright, with Easter coming up, folks, I just want to remind everybody, it ain't about a bunny, it ain't about the candy. It's about the man that died to give you a chance at salvation. Come down, gave his life on the cross. Make sure you can go to heaven. So when you guys celebrate, you sit down with your families, you eat your dinner, you cut your lamb or your ham. Make sure you say thank you. Thank you, Lord, for the chance. Thank you, Lord, for believing in me. And I'm sorry for the things that I do wrong, the ways that I hurt people, the ways that I don't take advantage of the life that you've given me. Remember that you are blessed by the man Jesus Christ. Your life is a gift. Everything in it, you've got to earn. It's not given to you. The only thing given to you, if you ask, get down on your knees, is salvation. Alright guys, we're back here down by the truck. I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this week's journey. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to get back to the house, so finish that nice little surprise we had from yesterday. Hope this barbecue turns out well. Alright guys, I've got my Hawaiian barbecue sliders here, King's Hawaiian sweet rolls, and my homemade non-alcoholic sangria. Let's sit down, enjoy me a meal, have a good afternoon. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I want to thank the Sugar Shack for sponsoring this week's show. I hope you guys have a good week. Remember, get out there and enjoy it.